Imagine this. You're rushing through a packed subway car during rush hour in New York City, the kind where bodies are pressed together like sardines in a can, and suddenly, you trip and land right on a stranger's lap. But not just any stranger, a handsome single dad holding his sleeping toddler, who whispers urgently in your ear, "Don't move." Your heart races, not from embarrassment, but from the spark that ignites in that unexpected moment. If that hooked you, stick around because this story of accidental encounters, hidden pains, and unbreakable bonds will leave you teary-eyed and inspired. And hey, if you love heartfelt tales like this, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Your support keeps these stories coming. Elara Vos was no ordinary woman. At 32, she was the youngest self-made billionaire in tech, her company revolutionizing AI for healthcare. But behind the glossy magazine covers and TED Talks, Elara's life was a fortress of isolation. Orphaned young, she'd built her empire on sheer willpower, sacrificing relationships along the way. No time for love, she told herself, as she boarded the overcrowded subway that fateful evening. Dressed in a sleek black pantsuit, her phone glued to her hand, she was en route to a high-stakes investor meeting. The car jolted, and in a blur of motion, her heel caught on a loose strap from someone's bag. She tumbled backward, landing squarely on the lap of the man in the corner seat. "Don't move," he whispered, his voice low and steady, like a lifeline in the chaos. His arm instinctively wrapped around her waist to steady her, while his other hand cradled a small child asleep on his chest. Elara froze, her cheeks burning, but something in his tone made her obey. She glanced down and saw why. The toddler, a little girl no older than 3, was nestled against him, her tiny fists clutching his shirt. Any sudden shift might wake her, and from the dark circles under the man's eyes, Elara could tell he was clinging to this rare moment of peace. His name was Marcus Hale, a 35-year-old single dad who'd once dreamed of being an architect but now juggled 2 jobs as a construction foreman and freelance designer to keep a roof over their heads. His wife, Lily, had passed away 2 years ago from a rare illness, leaving him with their daughter, Mia. Every day was a battle, bills piling up, daycare costs skyrocketing, and the gnawing guilt that he wasn't enough for Mia. That evening, after picking her up from preschool, the subway was his only way home. He hadn't expected a stunning woman to literally fall into his life. As the train rattled on, Elara didn't pull away immediately. The warmth of his hold was foreign yet comforting, a stark contrast to her cold, calculated world. "I'm so sorry," she murmured, trying to shift subtly. Marcus shook his head, his breath warm against her ear. "It's okay. She's had a rough day, nightmares about her mom. If she wakes now, it'll be a meltdown." Elara nodded, her own heart twisting. She knew loss. Her parents had died in a car accident when she was 18, propelling her into a life of relentless ambition to outrun the pain. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours, the subways hum a backdrop to their whispered conversation. Elara learned about Mia's love for drawing unicorns and Marcus's quiet passion for sketching buildings he'd never build. In turn, she shared snippets of her life, the pressure of running a billion-dollar company, the loneliness of boardrooms. For the first time in years, she felt seen, not as a mogul, but as a person. When the train finally stopped at Marcus's station, Elara stood carefully, helping him adjust Mia. "Thank you," he said, his blue eyes meeting hers with a vulnerability that made her stomach flip. She slipped him her card, "In case you need anything, for Mia." What started as an accident evolved into something profound. Days later, Marcus texted her, not for help, but to thank her again and share a photo of Mia's latest drawing, a messy subway scene with a magic lady on Daddy's lap. Elara smiled for the first time in weeks. They met for coffee, then playdates in the park. But challenges loomed like storm clouds. Elara's world was one of paparazzi and power plays, Marcus's was scraped-together meals and sleepless nights. When tabloids caught wind of their budding connection, headlines screamed, "Billionaire's secret subway fling." Elara's investors balked, questioning her focus. Marcus faced judgment from friends who warned him she was out of his league, and his own insecurities flared. How could he provide for someone like her? The real test came when Mia fell ill with a high fever, reminiscent of her mother's symptoms. Marcus panicked, rushing her to the ER, but his insurance barely covered the basics. Elara arrived unannounced, using her connections to get the best doctors. As they waited in the sterile hallway, Marcus broke down. "I can't do this alone anymore," he admitted, tears streaming. Elara held him, whispering, "You don't have to." In that moment, she realized her wealth meant nothing without purpose. She resolved to fund research for the illness that took Lily, turning her pain into action. Their relationship deepened amid these trials. Elara learned to slow down, trading late nights at the office for story time with Mia. Marcus rediscovered his dreams, with Elara encouraging him to pitch designs to her network. But jealousy and doubt crept in. Elara's ex, a rival CEO, leaked false stories implying she was using Marcus for PR. Hurt, Marcus pulled away, fearing he'd drag her down. "I'm just a single dad scraping by," he said during a heated argument in his modest apartment. "You deserve more." Elara, tears in her eyes, replied, "I deserve someone who sees me, not my money. And that's you." Resolution came on a rainy evening, much like their first meeting. Marcus, with Mia in tow, showed up at Elara's penthouse. "I was scared," he confessed, "but life's too short to run from love." They embraced, Mia giggling between them. Elara proposed a partnership, not just in life, but in business, merging his architectural vision with her tech to create affordable housing solutions. Together, they built a foundation stronger than steel. Years later, as Elara and Marcus watched Mia graduate kindergarten, their family complete, Elara reflected on that subway mishap. It wasn't fate, it was a reminder that vulnerability opens doors to connection. They faced more hurdles, balancing careers, navigating public scrutiny, but each strengthened their bond. Marcus's designs transformed communities, and Elara's company saved lives, all because two broken souls dared to not move from that accidental spark. And there you have it, folks. A tale of how one awkward moment can rewrite destinies. If this story touched your heart, smash that like button, subscribe for more emotional journeys, and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Remember, in a world full of chaos, sometimes the best things happen when you least expect them. Stay inspired, and keep believing in second chances.